Greetings, fair listeners, and thank you for joining me once again as we celebrate stories and storytelling in all their forms and the bards and artists who bring them all to life. I am the Tale Collector and your host, Erica Adams. Warning, this story contains graphic nudity and sexual content. Listener and researcher discretion is advised. Upon discovering and enjoying the French electronic band M83, I decided to learn more about it. Among other things, I found out that its creator and lead singer, Anthony Gonzalez, not only has a brother, but that brother, Jan Gonzalez, had made a movie, its soundtrack composed by none other than the very band I was researching. But my excited curiosity cooled more than a bit when I learned it was an erotic film. Paradoxically, I think my own personal awkwardness with regards to real-world sex played a role in my decision to watch this movie, so that I could try to approach and discuss the topic with more honesty and respect, in fiction if nothing else. That I succeeded in watching from start to finish was only one surprise. Let us now witness You and the Night, released in 2013 and strongly recommended for mature viewers only. On a bitter cold evening in France, preparations for a private party are underway. The three hosts are pansexual couple, Ali and Matthias, and their transvestite mate and mutual lover, Udo. They have invited a select group of individuals, none of whom any of them have ever met before, to their home for a night of lustful pleasures and intimate reveries. But there is an undercurrent of misgiving between the trio that threatens to ruin more than just the mood. Nevertheless, one by one, the four guests arrive: the stud, the slut, the teen, and the star. As the extraordinary and unbelievable histories of each participant come to light, their realities gradually give way to fantasies and desires more awe-inspiring than anything they've ever experienced, until each must decide how to face the aftermath when the night comes to its inevitable end. My second surprise regarding You and the Night? For a movie with this kind of premise and officially in the erotic category, it wasn't nearly as graphic as I was expecting. Heck, it has a lot more making out than genital exposure or literal intercourse. I have to admit, though, a very small part of me was relieved in a way. Now, this doesn't come from any prudishness. I treat fictional sex the same way I do fictional violence. I don't mind a copious amount as long as it means something in the story. And Gonzalez, for better or worse, really does his best to make the eroticism here mean something. I think this lack of gratuitousness has much to do with the plot's similarity to John Hughes's The Breakfast Club. On the surface, you have a group of very different individuals who normally wouldn't meet under ordinary circumstances, spending almost the entirety of the movie in a single place, bearing their souls in between messing around with each other and ultimately finding empathy and common ground with one another. Going deeper, though, it's as if Gonzalez wants to show sensuality in a more sacred light in a situation that could have easily become flat-out pornographic. I'm particularly impressed with the compassion the participants have for their sexual partners. A masterful illustration of this occurs upon Star's arrival. Standing at the door, she agrees to enter and join only if everyone makes love to her in complete darkness. They all comply, until Slut arrogantly turns the lights back on, sending Star into a fit of despair. This is not a woman acting vain or a bit of kinky fun being ruined. The others are genuinely angry and disappointed that their fellow lover's trust has been betrayed in such an insensitive manner, as expressed by Stud giving Slut a hard slap to the face. Each guest harbors a deep insecurity due to being labeled according to a societal stereotype. Yet the fact that they never reveal their real names and are thus credited as said labels is intriguing. Each name represents a distinct aspect of the character's sexuality and/or sexual preference, while also signifying their imprisonment in what is otherwise a highly liberating activity. Stud is a kind-hearted middle-aged man who is exceptionally well endowed, attracting a very generous number of lovers, while also losing his real true love, poetry. Slut, a tough 24-year-old, has a near-insatiable sexual appetite stemming from repressed grief and sad dreams of her deceased mother. Teen is a reticent young runaway, dissatisfied at home after being, as he puts it, called to the night, exchanging sexual favors for survival and preferring to learn about life and love on the streets. Star, the oldest and most painfully self-conscious about her age and appearance, is seeking her lost son, with whom, against all laws above and below, she fell deeply in love. Proper and improper names aside, the same unease applies to the hosts. Allie is haunted by dreams of a mysterious faceless lover, and Matthias has not only grown increasingly weary of these parties, but is also torn between his desire for Allie's happiness and his jealousy of all the lovers she takes. Their passion and devotion to each other aren't lacking, yet it seems to be that same passion and devotion shared with others, indeed, their very pansexuality, which poses a threat to their relationship. Udo is the loyal and devoted glue that helps keep the couple together, the impish servant who keeps the fun going, and the wise protector of the sanctity of love. Beneath her flirtatious dialogue and seductive manner is a deep respect and understanding of the heart, its emotions, its desires, its pains. Though she too wants to reap all the benefits of this and any other orgy, it is never at the expense of her partner's own pleasure. Not unlike The Breakfast Club, which I feel could easily be enacted on stage, You and the Night has a surreal play-like feel to it, not only because of the deliberate character typecasts and romantic dialogue, but because of how the characters' stories, when shown on screen, feature enclosed spaces, fake-looking props, and extras with exaggerated personalities, and require a great suspension of disbelief from both the in-film audience and the real audience. The most telling example is Allie and Matthias' story. Without delving into spoilers, their supposed history is nothing short of a fairy tale, complete with impossible odds and love conquering all. But belief or disbelief in these stories isn't the point. The point is escape from dull and treacherous reality. Everyone, in their own way, seems desperate not to destroy the safe, comforting, and magical illusion they've created inside the bubble of the apartment, held together only by their non-judgmental views and boundless imagination. To make yet another Breakfast Club comparison, the soundtrack. If you were to swap the end credit themes of both of these films, Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds and M83's Un Nouveau Soleil, the result may not be as jarring as you think despite the former's 80s rock and the latter's French electronic. Granted, the pieces here are much more bittersweet, stunning and transcendent in the moment, but laced with sadness and loss. Still, just like The Brain, Athlete, Basket Case, Princess, and Criminal, these assorted misfits don't know what the future will bring when their time together is over. But in the end, one can hear their hopeful, even triumphant vow to cherish the memories they've made as they say their farewells for the night, and possibly for the last time. What began as a chance to both indulge in one of my favorite bands and expand my storytelling genre horizons ended in a greater knowledge, if not understanding, of the human condition through sexuality. Many, of course, won't like You in the Night, due to its minimal plot, blatant promiscuity, unapologetic obscenity, apparent pretentiousness, or any combination thereof. But it may help to go in expecting not a celebrated masterpiece of French auteurism, but rather an interesting filmmaking experiment and an exploration of how and why humans can make sex somehow cruder and more sublime at the same time. And what can be more deliciously mysterious than the human heart? Gather round next time for another tale you may have forgotten or have never heard before. Until then, listeners, may inspiration always find you.